She sent me a text the other night. Craziest booty call I've ever got in my entire life. It was like 2:30 in the morning. It was just now. Straight up now.
What's up? Today we are at Ray's in the Lower East Side, one of the very first places to host a Drinks First event, and just one of the best places to hang out in downtown Manhattan. Let's go inside. Okay.
Should we cheers?
We
Are
can
you ready to
cheers.
rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, anonymous person.
Yes, you. I don't know who I am. That one bit.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling. We're good.
Okay, well, we're at Ray's today. If you're not familiar, Ray's in the Lower East Side, infamous hometown bar, celebrity hotspot, and just like a great place to come and hang out. Also, coincidentally, they have great drinks and they got great food. These are some of the better onion rings I've had in a long time.
I'm like staring at him actually.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. It's a rough one.
It's really good.
Okay, well, we're back with Drinks First, and I'm here with a really fun guest today. I'm super excited about it. We met at one of my events, which, I mean, I would love to hear a little bit more about how that happened anyway, but the first thing I like to start off with is, where are you from? How old are you? And where do you live now in New York?
So I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Cool.
I'm 28. I currently live up in Greenpoint.
Nice.
Kind of Williamsburg, Greenpoint.
How long have you been in New York for?
I've been in New York for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
Just about.
So you've been here for a minute.
Yeah, I feel like the first year was like a rodeo and a half.
Okay.
But you kind of get your bearings, and I feel like I've found my pace in life in New York City really well now. I love it.
Well, okay, what do you do
Yeah, so I like
for work?
okay there.
Yeah.
So I currently work in beauty tech. So what I do is that I help brands scale their sampling campaigns through targeted digital ad campaigns. So it's a really cool niche I found myself into. I get to work with beauty brands every day, like Diptyque, Eva, New York City, Glow
Nice.
Recipe. It's
So
a
the
ton
good
of fun.
ones.
Oh, the best ones.
The best ones.
Of course, love my clients. Shout out to them.
And did you go to college?
I did, yeah. So I went to University of Florida.
Cool.
So go Gators, come on.
So you're a Southern boy. Like
yeah.
you've been...
Yeah. I definitely am okay, so when I moved down to Florida for school and I came up to New York City, the biggest thing I realized is that when I told people like, oh, where do you come from? I'm like, oh, I just moved here from Florida. Everyone would be like, ugh! Like it was like a guttural reaction.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wait, I'm from Nashville. Let me just tell people from
Let me
Nashville.
just tell
yeah,
people
let me
I'm
just tell
from-
people where I'm actually from. So I started saying Nashville, and then everyone's responses now are like, oh my God, I love Nashville. And it's like so sweet. So yeah, definitely.
So you're on the Nashville train, not the Florida train.
No, definitely not. I mean, Florida's so much fun, but like, do I want to live there? No, that's crazy. It's gonna sink.
Yeah. It for sure
It is for
is
sure
gonna
gonna sink.
It's
R.I.P.
for sure
Florida.
gonna sink.
Really cool knowing you, man. But like, damn.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay, well, one thing I like to ask everybody, just as a baseline, is where do you like to go out in the city? So, like, where do you like to eat? Where do you like to go out for a night out? Where do you like to go on a date? That's 3 questions in one. So I'll let you go there.
Okay, great question.
So basically, where do you like to go out? Where do you like to eat?
Yeah, so I'm such a homebody at this point. Like, I love the space that I've created in my building, and I love my neighborhood. But I also love kind of going out and around about. So around the corner for me is Bernie's. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the best.
Like, talk about it. It's so good. But it's kind of hard to take a date there. Because like you're like, hey, let's go to Bernie's, and we wait in line for an hour. And we're
Yeah,
just kinda
it's like no, it's got to be like a 5th date when you're
100%.
like
It's gonna be
ready to have a
really-
long conversation.
Exactly. So I actually love taking people out to wine bars. I mean, I'm a big wine enthusiast. Specifically because my wine guy, who I met down in Crown Heights.
You got a wine guy.
I've got a wine guy. Shout out to Eric, Ricky Tempo. That's my man. He opened up Bouquets up in northern Greenpoint.
Okay, cool.
And really cute wine bar up there that I love to go and visit and hang out. And it's fun taking dates up there as well.
Nice.
So it's like always a great vibe. It's because I walk in and he knows me personally, and we're just like,
Yeah, that makes all the difference,
Yeah.
especially in New York. It's like you got your spots, you're like a local somewhere.
100%. And if I'm gonna go dancing, honestly, Gabriella's. I love to dance.
Yes.
I love to dance.
I love to
so
dance.
much. Gabrielle's is so much fun. Desert 5 is a phenomenal spot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a hoot and holler, as some might say.
You're in your neighborhood.
I'm in my neighborhood. I'm locked in.
Yeah, you're around McCarran.
McCarran boy.
That's
McCarran
the
boy.
perimeter of which you operate.
Yeah, I'm having a good time over there. It's pretty good.
Well, honestly, like Greenpoint has done a good job of creating like everything you need just there because it's so fucking hard to get to anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So they're like, you never have to leave.
I know. It like really filters everyone out, and it's like you get these really cool people who just have been in Greenpoint for a while and they love it. And they just like really diehard Greenpointers. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. But I'm like right in the edge. So like whenever I like look on like Uber, I can like adjust it like 3 feet, and I'll switch between like Greenpoint, Williamsburg.
Yeah.
So I also like love romping around Williamsburg too. It's a good time.
Well, all of those are great spots.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And have you been in Greenpoint for 3 years?
No, actually, I originally moved into. Oh my god, crazy enough. So when I first moved to New York, I moved into this. It's like a long-term hostel down in Flatbush. What? No, I'm being so for real.
Wait,
I'm being so
what?
for real. We had like international, like 20 people living in this one giant brownstone on this beautiful neighborhood strip, and they're all international.
Okay.
I lived there for a couple months, loved it.
How did you find that?
I just found it online. It's called Goal House by this guy named Ben. And
Okay.
it was honestly, it was so hectic, but it was honestly hilarious.
This is just like cheap living with like a bunch of international people. Like
essentially everything was taken care of. It was a good landing place. But I kind of realized I was like,
Interesting.
yeah, Flatbush was kind of like really, really out of the way of everything. And so I moved up into Crown Heights. I had some friends living up in there. So my first really like year and a half, 2 years in New York City was in the Crown Heights area.
yeah, Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, kind of.
Oh my God, amazing. I think like it's really interesting living in a place like that because you have to really make the most of it. Because you have to make it your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You can't like run, like, I think living in Crown Heights, so often you kind of feel yourself getting pulled up to Williamsburg or Bushwick, yada, yada. But so often you kind of forget to kind of really invest into the neighborhood around you. And I honestly met some incredible people that have been living in the neighborhood for years.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I mean, that area has changed a lot.
I know.
I grew up in New York City, and so
Yeah.
I've seen it shift a
Yeah,
large
and I was
amount.
honestly as a white dude living there, like not from New York. I was like, I think I might. I should go to Williamsburg. I should get out of here. Actually, it's
valid.
well, the crazy thing is that you start realizing I'm like, oh, this place is getting gentrified because you start seeing all these like confused white girls walking around.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like
No, honestly,
I'm not helping out.
my ex lived in Bed-Stuy. He was also a white man who was a transplant, and I live in Greenwich Village. Like around the neighborhood where he lived, like getting things like coffee and breakfast and stuff was more expensive than it was in my neighborhood.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I'm dead ass.
Yeah, they love to jack up the prices and call it like so cool and
It's like because it's Bed-Stuy. There's
Also,
not that much competition, but it's
No,
also
but-
like it's being gentrified.
I mean,
And I'm like, that's crazy that
Yeah.
it's more expensive for us to like get breakfast in the morning in Bed-Stuy than it is in Greenwich Village.
1,000%. I was actually talking to someone about this, especially like the neighbor, like the restaurants in those neighborhoods. It's interesting. They really have to appeal to those around them, but also create enough of a draw for people outside the neighborhood to come in. So
definitely.
they really have to like up it with the quality of food, with the
Totally.
menus, all the stuff. But it just ends up pricing so many people out and it kind of sucks. But I digress.
So you decided to anti-gentrify and move to
Yeah.
Greenpoint.
Well, I'm Polish, so it's kind of like my family's Polish. So
Okay.
I'm like, all right, let me just like wiggle
Go
my
where I
way, back
belong.
to the motherland of like Greenpoint, Poland land. So it's been honestly so much fun. It's been cute too. I mean, like you just run around. There's so many fun little stores, good time. But yeah, I mean, like it's been really fun. Like I blinked.
Okay, well, you had this like first year in like Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, halfway house with the international people.
Yeah.
Like, is that how you made friends when you first got here?
Oh my God, great question. So I actually moved here. I moved here before everyone else in my college did. So surprisingly enough, like 20 other people I graduated with ended up moving to New York from UF. Love them. So grateful they're here. I actually just had Friendsgiving with them last
fun.
night. Like we're all very tight. But I moved here the first like 6 months. Like they were slowly trickling in, and so I was kind of on my own. So I was like, how do I like make friends? And it put me into this hyperdrive, like social, like fresh in New York. I want to make friends. I want to go to social events. I need to occupy myself. Like how do I lock in? And so every introduction I got from a friend, or from someone who's like, oh, I know someone in New York, I would take it, and like I would just ride. I would just like, oh, let's hang out, let's do something, let's grab a beer.
Yeah.
And I would honestly kind of friend hop. So I would meet their friends and then find people I kind of like and then hang out with them for a bit and then see who they hang out with and just kind of see what sticks. And that worked well.
Yeah.
I still keep tabs with the people I really like connected with. But in particular, there's one guy named Yusuf. Oh my God, an incredible person. We actually met at a book signing I got invited to because his buddy, a friend of a friend, was books. I don't know. I got roped to this open bar book signing, and I pull up, and this guy, I start talking to him, and I mentioned something about the economics. I don't know, the economy, and he starts explaining
the economy,
and he starts explaining to me in the most fruitiest tone, pure market economics. I was like, bro, do you hear yourself right now? Like, he's like, oh my God, he took a step back. He's like, that's so funny, and so we started hanging out more. And so, fun enough, my mother's a flight attendant.
Okay, cool.
So I get to fly for free.
Standby.
Yeah, standby.
That's like, there's 2 people on my dating bucket list, and it is like a pilot / like somebody who has standby privileges
100%.
and a chef.
Yep, 100%.
Those 2 things are top of my list. I want to fly for free.
It's so, okay, my dad constantly tells me, he's like, listen, you should marry a flight attendant. I'm like, dude, I would if I could. They're gone all the time.
Yeah.
They're always going. They're gone all the time. But, my mom's a flight attendant. And my buddy Yusuf was like, hey, you should like come visit me in Italy. I'm hanging out there for a couple months. I'm like, sure. So I just hopped on over there. Turned out we traveled really well with each other. And the rest has been history. So we're just amazing friends.
That's
I met his
awesome.
friends. And so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's the magic of New York. You have no idea who you're going to meet.
Actually, fun enough, I've been calling it the spirit of New York.
Okay.
Kind of the spirit
Tell
of
me
like
more.
you kind of like something coincidental happens and you kind of connect with someone in a really unique way. You're like, wow, that was so crazy that happened. I was like, yeah, it's the spirit of New York. The spirit of New York kind of pulls you together.
Love that.
I love it. Because you probably have some stories where like
for sure.
crazy connects, random meets. Like for example, I just ran into my like old
Yes.
my upstairs, the person I went to high school with.
It's the spirit of New York.
Spirit of New York, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So
Well, you moved here like 2021, right?
Yeah.
So that's feral summer. That's like
Yeah.
post-pandemic.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
oh my God, that was crazy. Yeah, it was a really, really unique time for me moving to New York because in that moment I feel like I was kind of remaking myself a bit. I feel like you graduate college, you kind of really, you know who you are, you spend some time figuring it out, but like moving to a new city, starting fresh, it was almost like a slap to the face. Like it was like freshman year. You're like, I don't know who I am. I don't have any friends. I don't have any standings. Like I walk around the city, I'm a stranger to everyone. Like, how do I figure this out? But I just remember like, there's certain moments like throughout the summer where I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, you know, New York is like you peak high, the valleys are low. It's like it jostles you, especially on the first year. I remember going to, I mean, you always have to go to Pride, right? 2020, like go to Pride every summer. And I remember going to New York City Pride, and I was like, this is insane. There's people dancing in U-Hauls. Like every street corner was there's like a drag show going on, like songs being played everywhere. It was packed like shoulder to shoulder for blocks on end. I'm like, New York is fucking awesome. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I just loved it. It was so much fun.
And you were probably like meeting a lot of people. So.
Yes, I was. So I was trying my best to go on a lot of dates. I mean, honestly, like you gotta like you move to a new city, you gotta lean on the classics, right?
Yeah.
Hinge.
Hinge.
Hate to say it. Hinge. But then like I think as I went on, I would just start, you start meeting people in person, you start meeting the neighbors. I remember I'd have fun flings with this old neighbor of mine who was who owned a Pilates studio.
Okay.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
She was an older woman at the time for me. I think now at my age, I'm like, oh, it would probably makes sense. But like,
what's older?
I would say 30 and plus. I'm 28.
Yeah.
So
at the time you were like 25.
I was like 25, and so I'd
Yeah.
meet like a 30 plus year old. I'd be like, wow, an older woman. And
I don't know. I mean,
I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because I mean, being a college town, you don't interact with anyone over like the age of 26.
yeah, of course. 30's not that old.
No, it's really not. I'm actually really excited for 30. I'm like,
Same. I say the same thing. I'm really excited for 30.
I'm pumped for that. It's gonna
Yeah.
be the glory years.
I think
calling it.
everybody is gonna be like a little bit hotter, a little bit more rich, and like be a little more sure of themselves in their 30s.
Oh my God. I feel like every year I get closer to 30, I'm like, I'm priming myself for the best.
Yeah.
The best 30s.
I know people say their 20s are like it's being young, and I'm like, no, the 30s sound like where it's at.
Oh my God, 100%.
Because you're kind
100%.
of lost in your 20s. You're kind of figuring out who you
Yeah.
are, and like you're figuring out your career, you're trying to find stability, and like, yes,
Yep.
some people get married, some people have kids by the time they're in their early 30s, but I'm like,
Some people are divorced twice.
exactly,
Like, you know what I mean?
and that. Well, do you see a lot of people from like Nashville, Florida, like getting married, like your friends, or they? What's that like?
Yeah, I actually have I had a good friend that was in this wedding. He just had a baby,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I can't wait to meet them. They're gonna be my name, right? Like, and they're like, no. I was like, okay, cool. Honestly, it was really. He kept on hitting me up. He's like, hey, I would love to come up and hang out, have one last hurrah in New York City. I'm like, bro, your wife is like 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not coming to New York. I'm like, take care of your fucking wife. He's like, okay. And I like, I remember connecting as well to an old friend. He's like, he graduated college, he got married, he's a kid. And talking to him, he's like, yeah, like I really enjoy like the life I have. It's so crazy watching other people's stories. They're like, they're like traveling the world. They're experiencing life in new cities. And it's like, honestly, there's a sense of FOMO I have. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I have no FOMO of them.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I don't, because I'm like, I need to understand who I am before I bring, another life
Into the world.
Oh my God, talk about it. You know what I mean? Like a whole child, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy. But yeah, it is very interesting just seeing that dynamic. I mean, even coming from a Christian background, like I think early college years, I spent a lot of time like in the church, kind of like I felt it was a very safe space. I grew out of that, which I feel very grateful for what it gave me. But still having a lot of people in the church that are married, young, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, actually, there's one guy, it was freshman year of college. We lived with each other. He was a freshman, I was like a sophomore, but he has young energy about him, right? And fast forward, he ends up getting married like I think at age 20, 21. Crazy.
So early.
So early. A couple months later, I see a Facebook post, and this guy's like, my wife and I are pregnant. Please, 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 please pray for us. And we're like, whoa, what? We're like, oh my, I'm like, dude, it's 22. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a baby. That's a baby having a baby.
No, it was so wild. I mean, thoughts and prayers, bro, but.
Yeah. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
So you grew up in like a religious background.
I did, yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, man. I have a lot to say on it. I think I can like talk for hours about the experience I had. I think that I had to do a lot of deconstruction of my faith to kind of come to where I am today. And it was definitely it was a big roller coaster. Because I mean, you're in this environment that tells you you're in the best environment you can be. It's you have so much hope for it. It's so good for you. It'll last you for the rest of your life. You just have to really fight for it. And I was looking around, just realizing that a lot of people around me, my peers, were all like just not doing great, essentially. Like we were all really feeling depressed, really struggling. Like it didn't make sense. We felt very disconnected from community, and I realized it was just it was a very isolating place because everyone was trying to put on the front. I think I had to learn to be like, you know what, like this isn't for me. I'm going to figure out what the world is like outside of this community I had. And I feel like I've been able to learn more about myself than ever before through friends, through dating, through New York City, etc.
I feel like New York City is there's people of every faith here, but I feel like
100%.
It's somewhat agnostic, just generally.
Yeah, big time.
Like people aren't either super religious or very open about being very religious.
Totally.
Are you still involved with your religion today? And is that something that you look for when you're dating?
Not in particular. I think it's like something I've detached a lot from, where I'm like, you know what, I'm grateful for the experience that it formed me in terms of like who I am as a person, how I can connect and have empathy with others. I think also being in an environment that is super isolating and then breaking out of that, it builds this really strong sense of self and like critical thinking. I can look around me and be like, you know what, this isn't okay. And so not becoming a victim of your environment, but rather being really driven to own the direction that you're headed. That was kind of
kind of enlightened by it.
Oh my God, big time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, like, I definitely am more in the agnostic realm, and I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I think it is fun dating people here and there where I'm like, okay, like, they have a spiritual background, but at the same time, like, we're also in the same boat of being like, Western Christianity itself, especially with Christian nationalism, is just such a mess. It sucks.
And so it doesn't matter to you right now, like dating somebody who's religious.
No, not actually. I think if I dated someone that's like really religious, it would be kind of concerning for me because I'd be like, okay, like if you're really pushing this upon me, like how much work have you done to like
be outside of it?
Be outside of it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So yeah, I'm kind of like. Actually, it's so funny. Some old mentor from the church actually told me. He's like, "Oh, you're in your rum sprayer era." I was like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're like, this is just my life.
I'm like, bro, I'm just living. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about right now?
Rumspringa.
I was like, dude, what do you think?
You're not that kind of.
No, I'm not. I'm literally not. I'm not Amish. I'm not none of that sort. Actually, my dad low-key fetishizes Amishness. He would love. No. Like in a very silly kind of way, not like an actual. He's like, I would just like to run off and be like a Mennonite and like disappear into the woods. I think it's his idea of like escaping from modern day world.
Yeah.
But like, he loves it. It's so funny to me.
He loves the idea. Of being a little Mennonite.
Yeah, big time. So.
Okay, so with dating, then you said that you've been on Hinge. Are you still like on apps? Are you app dating? I mean, we met at one of my events.
Yes.
How did you find out about Drinks First?
Yes. Okay. So, oh my goodness, this is such a confession. All right. So I remember walking like this was a couple years ago. I was walking the streets of New York. And I see a big poster that says "Field" on it. I was like, oh, let me download the app. So I download it, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is so much fun. I was very intrigued. And then I saw a collaboration between you and Field pop up, like Drinks First and Field. And I'm like, I'll go. So I grabbed my buddy who was very single at the time. We went together, and it was such an interesting vibe.
Was this at Georgia Room or the Standard?
The Standard, I believe. This is like a while back.
Yeah. This was like 2.5 years ago, and that was their event that we came on to. So it was like majority their crowd of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you got some interesting characters.
Totally.
But I actually met some girls from there that were like really awesome. We became friends. We started hanging out here and there.
Yeah.
Super fun. But then I just kept tabs on your Instagram, your podcast, and I remember you posted like, oh, sign up for exclusive dinner parties. I was like, it was the week I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, and I was like,
okay.
I'm like, you know what? Like, let me sign up and just see if it goes anywhere. I'm just gonna leave that be and just kind of like exist in my own realm, like kind of heal all this stuff. Well, fast forward a couple months, I felt like I was in a really good space where I was like, okay, maybe I can kind of go out and venture around. And I got a note, like this email message. I don't know. I got something from you.
An invite
where I was like, hey, you should come to this exclusive dinner. I was like, okay, bet. That sounds awesome.
Wait, so you signed up the week that you and your ex broke up?
Okay, pause. It was like a couple weeks after.
Okay.
Not the week. But it came up on my Instagram story. I'm like, that looks like very fun. I don't know if I'm headspace for it. If I get invited, it was a shot in the dark, so to say.
I love that. Well, I think a lot of people come into that dinner party with that mindset because nobody there knows each other. And that's the whole point. It's like totally out of your comfort zone.
Totally.
So what was your experience there?
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I mean, first off, you had drinks flowing.
Yes.
I had so much tequila in my system. I got so loud. Like, I was just yelling. It was really fun coming in and like waiting in the lobby with everyone. And you just see all these like very pretty people just kind of standing around. And I'm like, am I in the right place? I was like, I think I am. I'm like, are you here for the drinks? Are you here for the drinks first? And we're like, yeah. And we start chit-chatting in the lobby, and then we'd all get taken up to the apartment. And walking in was so lovely. Like, the lights was amazing. The tables were set up so well. You ran the event so smoothly.
Ah, thank you.
It was amazing. Like, it was phenomenal. Like, dinner parties, to do something like that takes so much effort and work.
Oh my God.
Well done. Well done. And from my perspective, I was like, we were there from what I remember, like we were sitting next, like different groups had different tables. We asked different questions. We were all like laughing, having a good time. You brought out like some weed drink, and I was like, we're like, let's take shots of this. And so we ended up being like super cross by the end of the night, and it was so silly. I think the best part was just everyone I met. Like we were just having a good time, like just chit chatting, meeting new people. I really loved how you at the very end were like, do you have a crush on anyone? You should write down their name. And I was like, ooh, maybe. So it was a lot of fun.
You got a few inquiries, if I remember correctly.
Wait, and I got a few? You showed me one. I needed a few. I did get a few.
I feel like you got more than one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you did get more than one.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I remember that because I remember there's a few people that like I had a really good connect with, just ended up chit-chatting with, and it was fun.
So, I mean, not to harp on my events, but post your relationship, have you been more in the camp of like trying to meet people in person, or are you still on the apps? Like, what's it been like?
Totally. I think I've been sitting on a diehard. I really just want to meet people in person.
Yeah.
Now, when I say diehard, I mean casually diehard because I definitely deal with the apps. Sure. And I'm like, might as well just look and peruse, and that I've been come to a conclusion recently, like after going on a date or two from Hinge, that I'm like, you know what, these dates aren't fun. Like, and
Tell
no
me more
offense to
about
the girl
that.
that I've been on a date with. Like, you're great, you're really cool, but
She's not gonna know.
but it's more this idea of like, you know what, like you match with someone, you chat, you meet up for drinks, and it feels like this very transactional moment.
Yeah.
Like you're checking off all the boxes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, like
The
I've done
fun
this.
in dating is like
It's just
no longer
gone.
there,
The spark's gone. I'm just like, oh yeah, they're very nice. I laughed a couple times. We got drinks. They're pretty. And I'm like, cool, and like good conversation. There's good connect. And I'm like, all right, like the spark, the energy, the unknown, the back and forth, like it just
The
felt.
je ne sais quoi.
The je ne sais quoi. It's just gone. It's gone. And so I'm just like, I've been really just wanting to meet more people in person. And I think your events have been an amazing job to do so.
Oh, great.
Yeah, of course. I've definitely gone on a few dates afterwards.
Tell me about that.
All right. Which event do you want to talk about?
Start from wherever.
Oh man, I mean, I think like I went on. Oh man, there is. I mean, I from the night of your event, I ended up going home with someone. I'm not gonna say who, but
I know who it is.
No, you don't. Do you really?
I unless it was like the person that you weren't making out with, then
It was the person I was making out with. And that was very fun. That was really cool. It was a very fun fling. We chatted a little bit afterwards, but it just kind of sizzled out. I still have her earrings at my place. So,
rough.
Yeah, rough. If you want to come get them, like, just give me a shout. Yeah, kind of. Then from your dinners, there was a beautiful, beautiful black woman I met. Really cool. We went on a date. It was a lot of fun. We ended up kind of romping around. But our life got busy. And unfortunately, I just didn't have a chance to text her back. But no. We've been texting, but like life got out of the way. We just never made plans. But every now and then, like late into the night, she'll give me a call. And I'll pick up and it'll be nothing.
what?
I'm like, what? Hello? Just silence. I'm like, huh? I'm like, hello? And it's happened a couple times.
Okay.
And it's very, very silly. And then I
That's fucking
no,
hilarious.
crazy enough. I got the craziest booty
It's like
call.
the bat signal.
No, I mean so for real. It is literally like the bat signal. I'm like, hello? The craziest, like she sent me a text the other night, craziest booty call I've ever got in my entire life. It was like 2:30 in the morning. It was just now. Straight up now. I was like, oh, girl, whoa.
That's iconic.
I was like, oh, go you.
Honestly, I might have to steal that.
So good. It was so good.
I'm dying.
I was
Owen's
like,
cracking up.
Yeah.
Did it worked?
I was upstate. I like woke up in the morning. I was like, whoa. I was like, sorry, girl, I'm out of town. She's like, and no reply. I was like, okay.
Valid.
So
Honestly,
fair.
been there.
So fair.
Been
So
there.
fair.
Honestly, I've spoken to a few of my girlfriends. Like, I had this bad habit in college, and I realized I'm not the only one, where, like, you get drunk, obviously, and you send out a few risque texts.
Yeah.
And then you delete them.
Just
You
gone.
delete them off your
Disappeared.
phone.
You're just like,
It's like it never happened.
it just goes into the wind.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
exactly.
nobody will ever talk about it after the fact, but it's like as long as there's no paper trail, it never happened.
It's just gone.
And that was like I used to do that in college. It was really bad. But then I found out that a lot of I was talking to a few other of my
It doesn't
girlfriends.
delete on their phones. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely. But as long as nobody addresses it with me, it's like cool.
Yeah, you're
like,
chilling. You're having a
we'll
good
go
time.
on with our lives pretending like that never happened. And if it worked, it worked.
Dust in the wind.
Yeah. It's like literally just throwing
Spreading
shit,
your seeds and see what sticks.
exactly. See what happens. But then but you never talk about it. So
No.
I'm kind of like, maybe she sent that and then she deleted it.
Well, actually, very underneath was one unsent message. I'm being so for real. And so all I saw was now. And I'm like, what did she say?
Apple coming out with unsent.
Oh my gosh, that shit drives me nuts.
Diabolical.
They're really just like, good for them, I guess. Someone on the.
Honestly, I'm glad it exists.
I'm
definitely glad it exists.
Yeah, so you can back to your college habits.
Oh, yeah. no. And it's been used on me a few times, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm so curious. But I'm like,
God.
I'm not going to ask.
No.
Clearly they unsent it. They're not going to tell me.
Okay, so on a better note, I'm not having all these like crazy risque connects after your events. I went on a very wholesome date after your event. So I was sitting at the bar. This is on the big rooftop. I was outside with the pool. You know?
Yeah.
Yep, cool.
LeBain.
Yes, LeBain. Such a cool spot. And I was sneaking my way to the bar, and I ended up bumping into this really beautiful redhead. And we're chatting, like, I'm like, oh, this and that. We kind of made eye contact early night, but I was like, all right, cool. When I was talking to her, it felt like she was kind of like just being friendly. So I was like, oh, this is very nice. And so I'm like, hey, she had a really cool outfit on. So I was like, love your outfit. Tell me about it. We started chatting. I started chatting about art. Turns out she's here studying art. I'm like, there's some art events I've been dying to go to. I should have tickets for this one event. You should come with. She's like, I would love that. We exchanged information. We met up for this beautiful art fair. We were walking around this like incredible gallery, and we're just playing this game of like, okay, let's say we have a beautiful Brooklyn house, right? We have a Brooklyn brownstone. How are we decorating our space?
Aww.
It was very, very fun. And afterwards we went and grabbed ice cream. We got rained on.
Movie.
It was such a movie. And then she met me for another event. Specifically Mark Maggiore, this really cool Western painter.
Cool.
But unfortunately, my friend was dragging me out of there to go to this, like, it was New York City Fashion Week. He had a runway show you want to take me to. So as I was being dragged out, she was coming in, and we just kind of crossed paths, had a quick chat, and left. And we just never made plans again afterwards.
Well, I'm sensing a pattern of not making plans again.
Okay, so okay. Wait, hey, hold on. I would like to point out the fact that, like, I love spending. Okay, I'm a. I do. I want to be really excited about the people I connect with. Like, really, really excited. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, like, it takes time to build excitement. You know, I think I have this deep desire to be like, I meet someone, and it's like flings, it's fun, all this stuff. All actuality, like, if I'm gonna find like a partner like in the future, I really want to make sure that one, they kind of hit all the boxes that I'm looking for in terms of the like similar goals, that we connect well, etc. And then build. You don't find a garden, you build a garden. I think it's really important to kind of live by, especially when dating. But you have to find a good place to do it. Mm-hmm. And
solid ground.
Solid
fertile.
Ground. Oh God. No. That was a fertile ground, baby. That's crazy you'd say that. That's actually so crazy. Oh my God. So
what are the garden boxes?
Yeah, for sure. Super rich family, super hot.
Right.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Honestly, like, I was thinking about this earlier of like, what do I look for in like a future partner? And I think essentially I think at the end of the day, so many of us are like a hurt version of ourselves, but as a child, you know, you have the inner child kind of vibe. I look for someone that can like create a safe space to kind of heal the inner child. And someone that is full of whimsy. I think it's really important. I think life is
love that
supposed to be serious, but like, don't take it too serious. Mm-hmm. Like, just be whimsical, have fun, do your thing. I want someone that obviously makes life feel so whimsical. Super important. I also love making life look beautiful. I think it's really kind of an outlook of life I exist by, is that how do I make life look as beautiful as possible and make it as beautiful as possible? I want to be with someone that makes life beautiful as well with me. And that includes I love when someone has their own like really refined taste. However that looks like and however that is expressed, I don't really care. I'm not really trying to build an aesthetic. I want them to feel so utterly confident in what they like.
Totally.
And let that come to life.
Yeah.
You know? That's so important to me. Also, like, some of the ambitions and goals. And
always good.
Always, you know, it's really nice when someone has like some ambition goals. It's very, very cool.
100%. One
thing I love to do with my friends is that we love to dream together. Like, we kind of have moments, we're drinking, we're like, all right, let's dream. What are we going to dream about? This is specifically Yusuf and I. We always love to dream about like, what does the future hold? And I want to find someone I can dream with, you know? Like, kind of like think big pictures of like, what can we do together that's like bold, brash, exciting. So I'm looking for someone to dream with.
what are your dreams as they stand right now?
Great question. I think some of my dreams really comes down to like building a beautiful community around me. I think it's doing the work I've done to build community in my life and my neighborhood in Williamsburg has been, it's been a lot. I put in so much effort. To be frank, I'm like very close with a lot of people in my building.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have like a little building crew.
Yeah, we have a bunch of guys that live in a building that I've befriended, and we have boys' night every Thursday night.
That's so cute.
It's so much fun. We have a dedicated boys' night. This Thursday we're doing Nigerian night.
Ooh.
So one of the guys, actually, funny enough, one of the guys at the Drinks First dinner party when we first met.
Oh, he moved into your building.
Yeah, he moved into my building. Specifically the
Right.
guys on the 6th floor that I'm very good friends with. He randomly found it on Facebook Market, moved in. I'm like, wait, I know you. He's like, I know you. And
That's actually spirit of New York.
the spirit of New York, baby. That's the spirit of New York. That's what I'm telling you.
That's crazy because I didn't know him at all. He had just applied to the dinner, and I also didn't know you. Obviously, I didn't know most of the people there, and I was like, "This seems like a good group of people. Let's like throw it all together." To this day, I don't even know. I don't think I've seen him at an event since, but like, I don't know how he found out about Drinks First, agreed to come, whatever. But like the fact that he's ended up in your
He's awesome.
building squad.
He's awesome.
I
Such
love
a cool
that.
guy.
Oh,
And we've pulled him in, just like loved up on him, and it's been really cool just seeing everyone just kind of find their own niche. So he's from Vancouver, but his family's Nigerian. So he's like, hey, I'd love to do a boys' night. He's like, I love to plan a Nigerian night. So we're going to this really cool BYOB chef tasting Nigerian restaurant in Bed-Stuy.
Ooh,
So we're rocking it. I think we have about like 10 guys pulling up.
that's so fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Dedicated boys' night every Thursday night.
I know. I remember you were at one of my events, and it was like earlier in the evening. And you were like, "Gotta go. It's boys' night."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Love that." No, honestly, love that. And I've thought a lot about this, honestly. And Owen and I have discussed this to a small extent. Like, I've been able to cultivate community for people with Drinks First, like in a romantic sense, in a platonic sense. We've done events, as you've seen, for women to meet other women.
Oh my God! Do you want to tell this story?
You can tell the story.
All right. So oh my God. Okay, do you want to finish the point and then we go? No.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, the point being, like, I think it's very hard for men to find community
100%.
in a way that, especially like when you're out of college, you're out of high school, and you don't have any fraternities, you don't have any like necessarily sports teams that you're like playing on. A lot of the places where men typically find community, or like there's no like clubs, right? There are now, like we see more of it happening, but it's really hard to create space for men to connect.
Yeah.
And I've thought about ways that I could do it for Drinks First, but it still confuses me. Like, I don't really know how to market to just dudes and be like, hey, you know, if you want to meet other dudes to hang out with, like in a platonic sense, like I don't know how to do that, but
Good luck.
we've talked about it a little bit because Owen met like one of his really good friends at one of the same dinners that you went to, and has met like a whole community of people from that.
Wait, did you really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I've also met Owen at that dinner too.
Yeah,
So,
I'd have to say that my favorite part about one of your dinners is that, like, we talked about this earlier, but like when walking to the dinners, I was like, oh, this is a dating event. I walked away being like, dude, I love the guys. These guys are sick.
and that seems to happen a lot at the dinners. Like people, like men and women make connections too. A lot of the girls make connections as well.
Totally.
But the real lovely thing that has come out of those dinners is almost every single dinner there's been like really good guy friends to come out of it.
Unbelievable.
And I think that's like, it's hard to market to do something like that specifically, but I think it's really cool that you have found and created community of like dudes just being dudes and hanging out, and like because it doesn't exist for a lot of people, and especially in a city like New York where it's hard to make friends. It's great that you've been able to find that. But I think that's beautiful that like you guys have been able to find that community through Drinks First, even though that wasn't the initial intention. But it's because like, where do guys go to do that? Yeah,
big time. I mean, like, I think about this so often, is that the loneliness epidemic in the U.S. is actually killing us.
Yeah.
I think even with this like past election too, just seeing like where young men are at in terms of their thinking.
Totally.
And it's just like it sucks. I'm like I don't know. I feel like it just comes down to this idea of like, man, like these kids or even these men just don't have other people they can turn to, chat with, and just be honest.
Yeah.
And like I feel really grateful for the guys I have in my life. We are actively seeking not only to like just have as much fun as possible, but really just like just be open and talk about life. And like I'm very blessed to one of the guys in my group. His name is Giovanni. We actually have 2 matching tattoos.
I love
My
that.
ride or die, Gio. I love you. Shout out to you, man. But like, I think being specifically in a church background, it's enabled us to like, the culture there was to be very open and vulnerable consistently. And so that was the basis of our friendship. And that has expanded even into our adult lives now. We live together here in New York. So he left the church as well. And I think that's also then been an expansion into our guy friendships now we have around us. Like these guys groups, we actively seek to like really be open and just talk about life.
Yeah.
Like talk about like things we're struggling in, talk about our successes, celebrate each other.
Totally.
It's been really like rewarding.
I love that.
It's really important. It's really important to me. I think I'm healing a part of me as a young kid, even when like middle school, high school, that just didn't have a close group of guy friends. And I saw other people have that. I really craved that. And so just doing that now.
And it seems like you've been able to find that community, which is great. And that's something that you were talking about. Like one of the boxes and one of the dreams is like to have community around you.
100%.
Now, what do you imagine beyond like what you had already said, like in a partner?
Yeah.
Like what's the dream for that? And how have you been going about like finding that? I mean, you're going on dates, you're meeting girls at drinks first.
Yeah,
like,
I do my thing.
You're doing your thing.
Just ripping it.
Just ripping it.
Just ripping it. Yeah, I mean, like, I think one thing it comes down to is that I really crave to have someone that almost like puts like wind underneath my wings, so to say. And I think with my dream of community and the people I'm pulling together, someone that complements that really well. I think having someone that aligns with that vision is really important. Not saying they need to be some major extrovert. Like I get not everyone's that way. Honestly, extroverts can be incredibly exhausting at times. Like me as someone who loves to meet people and stuff, I have friends that like to be a little more low key. I get it. I see that like there's a lot. So I'm not necessarily looking for someone who's like, who loves people and meet everyone all the time, yada, yada, yada. But I think someone that also buys into this idea of like, I want to build high quality community that really pulls people in around us and creates a safe haven in this really lonely and like individual like society that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, New York's a tough place for that. I think a lot of people have felt.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's so tough out here.
But tough. You've done a good job. So like Thanks. Tell me a little bit about like you were in a relationship.
Yeah.
What was that like? Yep. Did you meet on the apps? Was it somebody? How long was it? And then coming out of it, what sort of fun have you been having?
Oh my God. All right, if you're my ex and you're hearing this, I'm so sorry you have to listen to this.
My ex has to listen to a dating podcast like every week.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Like, that's a really tough thing.
Crazy. That's crazy to do that. I really hope he's not doing that for his own sake. That would be crazy. If my ex had to run a dating podcast, I think I'd like, it would be, I know. Yeah, it would be a nightmare. So we met on Hinge, and we started seeing each other, I think like beginning of like 2023. And honestly, she was really awesome. She was like very beautiful. Very smart. That was the big thing for me. Like, I love someone who's very, very smart. It makes me feel good to be a little dumb. Like, the balance works really. I'm like, gosh, she's so smart. I can kind of like turn off a few brain cells and just kind of coast. Not saying I want someone to like babysit me. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I really like someone who has their like wits about them.
Yeah.
It's just very brilliant. She worked in finance, so she was like grinding all the time. And I remember like we first met. And we went on like a really like, it was a nice date. We went on to a museum. I was like, oh, she's very nice. I was just asking a lot of questions. It was very fun. We kissed at the end of the date. I was like, that was like, we checked all the boxes, right? So the second date, we ended up sharing a glass of wine at her place. And she just gave me a whole tour of her apartment. And I was so taken aback by just her taste. I was like, wow, this is like a diamond in the rough. And as I just got to know her, I just felt like she really had a lot of qualities I was looking for in a future partner. And she just really caught me at a good time because I was like, I really want to find someone I can just kind of lean into and have like and to date. And beforehand, I actually didn't date for a while, for about actually like 5 years or so.
Wow.
I was just like transitioning out of the church. I didn't really know who I was. I was like all this like stuff going on. My head was like a mess. I was like, oh, what's going on? And so as we started dating, I was like, it felt very exciting for me. And so we dated for about a year. Actually, Ash would be my girlfriend on April Fool's Day. We were wearing dunce hats.
Terrible. Diabolical.
No, we were literally we were wearing dunce hats walking into a silly hat party. And I turned to her. I'm like, "Can I introduce you to my friends and my girlfriend?" She's like, "Absolutely." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So we go to the party. I was like, "Cool." And I think one thing I really loved about that relationship is that we always came back and kind of like fought for each other. She was an incredible cook. Like her hobby is cooking. I actually really loved to cook beforehand. Afterwards, I'm gonna say my cooking skills get so rusty because
You let her cook.
She cooked. She cooked. She's like, oh, I got a home cooked meal coming. Are you coming over? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I am. Why not? Might as well. And I'd cook her meals and stuff. It was very fun. I got to a point where by the end of the relationship, I kind of felt like this is kind of where I started having doubts about the relationship. I had some friends around me kind of were talking to me like, hey, she's really great. But one thing I noticed in social situations, like she wasn't really able to carry her own at times. And it made me really sad because I was like, man, like I want to go off and meet people and chit chat and all this stuff. And she was very locked in on the people she knew and what she was comfortable with. And she was still friends with her high school friends and nothing wrong with that. But I moved to New York knowing no one and built out a community around myself.
Yeah.
I would hope that someone could kind of keep the same pace.
Totally.
And there's a lot of moments where I kind of like was a little bit more gracious than I probably should have been. And I started having transitional doubts, right? In my gut, in my heart, in my mind. So initially I started having doubts in my gut. Then it transferred to my mind, but my heart was still in it. And I actually got let go from my...
That's such like an interesting way to put it. I love that.
Yeah, and then actually, crazy enough, I got let go from my job. And then the same week we had a trip planned in Mexico. So we're in Mexico City. I just got let go of my job. I was trying to figure out next steps. I was excited about my career. Wanted to figure out... I was like, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to go. I was like, I want to work in performance marketing. I really want to get into the nitty-gritty of things. Like, I want to work in like consumer goods. I knew what I wanted to do. And like, I just felt like she was so disengaged. And it really wasn't there as much as support as I needed to. And we've had conversations about this. She knows.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it transitioned to my heart as well. Like I'm on the flight back. It just switched. And I was like, I immediately knew. I was like, I don't think I got to get out of this relationship.
Yeah.
This is not for me. And I nearly broke up with her on the airplane home. And I was like, we haven't taken off. And I'm like, I should not do this. I should not. I'm like, let me chill. So we stayed at her place. I woke up next morning. It was our 1 year anniversary on April Fool's Day.
Oh.
Damn. And I was like, okay, you know what? Like, let me pull the Band-Aid off. We did it. Had a conversation and moved on from that.
Yeah.
And that was like pretty fucking tough. That was pretty fucking tough. I mean, like...
That was April of this year.
It was.
That wasn't that long ago.
I know. You're telling me.
Yeah.
And so I remember like, at first I was like, yeah, I did it. Like, it's great. Like, oh my God, like, I'm single. Like, it was like a wave of emotions. But then like, a reality set in, being like, man, like, I lost a really good friend. You know, I lost a partner that I was like, that essentially we were like, oh, we're each other's garden.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like just taken away. Out of a decision, obviously, I made for the best. And yeah, like we talked things out, we exchanged stuff, and like I think, man, like it was such a trying time being out of a job first and foremost, and being out of a relationship, because those are two key points of how like you see yourself, so like your value points, and where you gain your like worth from, and that being your job and your relationship both kind of gone. I really had to go through some rethinking about like, okay, what does it look like for me to essentially like figure out my values again. So, and find where my worth stands. I was experiencing jealousy at the time, like just all these different emotions were coming up that I just had to function through and work through. I was so grateful to be surrounded by some guys that were so supportive, so supportive. And I was grateful enough as well, like actually around that time, all for different reasons. The guys around me in their life also got out of relationships. Not totally unplanned.
It's so crazy. It happens in seasons.
It was the eclipse. I'm telling you, it was the fucking eclipse. It was the fucking eclipse. That thing
shit's in retrograde.
Yeah, it went crazy. Everything went flipped. It was all cardinal signs that got affected. Big three: Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. I got shitted on. It was a wild. Sorry. Anyways, so it's just like, yeah. So here I am today, kind of like I have a new job, can't get myself situated, looking for like next steps and what that looks like. I'm really fighting against like cuffing season. Like I'm really open to it.
Yeah.
But like, dude, like walking around, like I don't want to just jump into a relationship just cause.
You know what? I think the climate is also fighting
my
against
God, it's
cuffing
killing me
season.
right now. It's
like
killing me.
summer and winter.
I
Like
know.
cuffing season's not happening for a little while.
No.
It's been delayed.
Put on pause. Wait till January.
Yeah, we'll see you later. But you're having fun then now.
Oh
You're
my God.
ready to have fun.
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean like just I think running around dating and like going on first dates, meeting people, it's a blast.
Do you have any like really fun or crazy date stories you'd like to share?
Oh yeah. Okay, there's this one date recently. I got sent up on this date for a good friend, and I've been walking around walking around the streets asking people to set me up. I've been telling people in my life like, hey, listen, I'm single. If you want to set me up with someone you know, this is your chance to do so. I would love to take them on a date. It'd be a lot of fun, etc. People love the idea. People actually don't do it, which is crazy, except for my one friend, Camila. Shout out to her. She set me up with her coworker. So we meet up at this wine bar. She pulls up. Stunning. She looked great. We're both like gappers. We're talking away, all this stuff. We're having like a couple glasses of wine, right? But the third glass, I'm like, hey, let's get another glass. And the waiter comes up. You're like, oh, what would you like to get? I'm like, oh, can we do the same glass? And she's like, actually, we have a special bottle open. Like, would you like the bottle? And I'm like, would you like to try? I'm like, yeah, duh, bring the special bottle. She leaves. I turn to the woman I was with. And I was like, how they know to open a special bottle when you got here? Like, I started talking my shit, like eating it up a little bit. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, how about this? They bring the special bottle. We take a picture of it, and we call that our special bottle. I remember it by.
Okay, smooth.
I do what I can.
Smooth.
And she's like, bet, let's do that. The bartender comes up. She pours the wine. She's talking about it. Oh, this is like a Pinot Noir from like Southern France. Starts like giving all these details, right? And I stop her. I'm like, why does it make it so special? Her face literally drops. I'm being so for real. Her face drops. She's like, well, my ex-boyfriend makes this wine. And we're like, what? She's like, he destroyed my heart. And I'm like, excuse me? She's like, I text him every day. He doesn't respond. He won't pick up my calls. I think about him all the time. And
the waitress.
No, literally the bartender. And we're literally sitting there just still. Just like, what the fuck did we just listen to?
Yeah.
And then she's like, but he makes really good wine, pours it, and kind of like moseys off. And we're just like, cheers. And we're just like, all right. And it's just kind of, it was such a weird, oh my God, it was so crazy that it happened. No, it was actually so fucking insane. But I digress.
So it didn't work out with that girl, or?
I got busy. And
I forgot to text back.
No, in full fairness, I went on a big work trip to the UK, and so then I got back, and life just got busy. Whatever.
Okay, but you've been dating around. You've been meeting people in person. You're like doing your thing.
Totally.
Okay, so we end actually, I have one more question. Do you have a physical type?
Ooh, great question. Yes. I love beautiful women. I struggle. Okay, so all right, talk about it. I love a pretty girl. Arrest me for having a wrong opinion, I guess. Actually, that's a right opinion. So I like with any type, I love someone who like looks like one has a very unique look. Like I like someone who's like very much to themselves. So I think style really comes into it pretty heavily. But if I could really chop it down, narrow it in, something about long legs does something crazy for me. I don't know what it is. I see long legs. I'm like the jaw on the door. No, just something about long legs, as well as short hair.
Okay.
I love a cropped look.
Okay.
I go crazy. Actually, I go crazy for a cropped look.
All right.
Something about it. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Interesting. All right. So we end every episode with a segment called Shots, which is why we re-upped your drinks with this beautiful espresso martini.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thank you to Ben for bringing that down. So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to ask you a series of this or that questions.
Sure.
You are going to have the drink in your hand and drink and answer them as you're drinking.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready to do some shots?
Yeah, let's do some shots.
Okay. Drink.
All right.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke. Drink. All
Drink.
right.
Delivery or sit-down restaurant?
Sit down.
Bus or train?
Ooh, train.
Country or city?
City.
Morning or night?
Ooh, honestly, morning.
All right.
Yeah.
Call or text?
Call. Talk about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, be for real.
You're not going to be texting.
I'm not texting you. I'm sorry. Shoot me a voice note. I don't know, but
Not a text.
God forbid.
Okay. Drink.
Oh fuck.
Instagram or TikTok?
Ooh. For what, content or like adding each other? I love my TikTok.
All right.
Like Mario for you. I just TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your typical Sunday?
Ooh. Perfect. I wake up. I like to go on a little walk, grab a little coffee, sit down, soak up sun. I like to grab a little treat. I love playing Catan with my boys.
Nice.
Well, all the neighbors go together to play some Catan. I love to do a little dinner as well. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a lunch or like you cooking at home. Perfect Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, fuck.
What's your favorite season?
Oh, fall. Oh, fuck.
What's your favorite song at the moment?
Ooh, yes! I've been waiting for someone to ask me this question so much. All right, listen here. The song is called D Notes by DJ Fucks Himself.
All right. Drink. Rate yourself out of 10.
Oh, man. I think a solid like 7.5.
Okay.
8, 7.5. 7.75.
7.75.
I rock with that.
All right. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Ooh, that is so funny. All right, something dumb like sink or swim.
Great. Okay, that's all of our questions.
All right, drink.
Drink. Oh!
Yeah!
All right, well, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thanks for
This was-
exposing me, I guess.
This was so fun.
So much fun.
If you would like to match with our guest, you can find us on Instagram at drinks.first. And I'm your host, Ariana Nathani, at ariana.nathani. In our link in bio, there is a form that you can fill out, and hopefully you'll have a chance to match with our wonderful guest today. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Big cheers.
Big cheers.
Glass is empty.
All right.
And I promise I'll take you on a second date. All right. Whoops.
All right, that's a wrap.
Cheers.